slogans for this election. All you know them? Which one all you know? We have Labour is working for all of we.
Only Labour shouting, Labour, Labour working for we.
And we have Own the Future.
Own the future, only getting stronger.
And all you know why we have two campaign slogans this year in 2025? Because we wanted to resonate with all the people across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Labour is working for we resonates with every single person here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But you see, Own the Future is speaking specifically to our youths. And we are telling you, this Unity Labour Party government is telling you, you need to own your future. Comrades, whenever I go on a platform, the first thing I have to mention is the education revolution, because it is one of the best, the most superlative initiatives by this government, by the Unity Labour Party government in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and across the region. And I want to tell you something, comrades. I wouldn't be here today if it were not for the education revolution. Because everybody here know my mother. And all you know, I grew up in a single parent household. And all you know, my grandmother does still sell at the vegetable market. All you know, my mother, she would not have been able to afford education for me to finish UE and complete my legal education certificate at the Hewden Law School. So I always have to touch on the education revolution. And another reason, comrades, we all know someone here, someone who has benefited from that education revolution. It may be your daughter, your son, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, your neighbor, but somebody it touches and concerns all the people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Solution in education, show us you building a new foundation. So let me applaud the ULP for a job well done here in this country.
Right here at the Richland Park Government School, that is where I started my education. I didn't go to preschool, comrades. I started here at the Richland Park Government School. So it is somewhat of an emotional moment for me. But I am telling you, I am looking across the road right now and I see the Theresa Jack Early Childhood Center. And you know what that means for people in Richland Park? That all of you can afford to send your children to preschool, even though you cannot afford to pay a monthly payment for your child to go to preschool. This government has provided education and access to education from a grassroots level. And I know if that was in place when I was younger, I would have been able to attend preschool. But I'm still grateful because I went to the Richland Park Government School and I made my school proud. Comrades, we all heard Comrade Rasman and Candyman talk about access to secondary education. I remember right here in Richland Park Government School, I used to see people, they bawl tears when they fail common entrance because you're sending them to senior 1 and senior 2. And it's like they don't have anything to do. They don't have any feelings. They don't feel motivated to go on because you disregard them after they gone to senior 1 and senior 2. And I used to just see them walking around looking discouraged, comrades. But because of this ULP administration, we have provided universal access to secondary education.
When my pencil mark the exits for labor, for who labor? Everybody!
Comrades, I want to tell all you, you see this thing we talk about universal access to secondary education? The NDP they said that they would consider universal access to education in the year 2030. And comrades, we are in the year 2025, and we have seen the great improvements, the advancement of our youth, because we decided to do that in 2001. So right now, most of us would not have attended secondary school or would have gone to the community college. We wouldn't have that because they said they would consider it in 2030, and we ain't even reached 2030 yet. And the operating word there is consider. So they didn't even guarantee that they were going to give us universal access to secondary education. Can you imagine how far behind we would have been as a nation? This ULP government cares for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Them no want we reach the way. Them only want we reach the way. Them only want we listen when them teach we say. Mr. MP, so you mean to say get your youth stuff in live now.
And I want to talk about tertiary education because I've been sitting in cabinet for the last two and some years. And every year when there is a tuition list for scholarship, this year it was over 2,500 people. We don't sit down and we don't say this person is NDP, this person is ULP, this person is no party. We don't take out any names because of any political affiliation. This government is a government for all the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that is why everyone who applied for tuition scholarship gets a tuition scholarship as long as they met the requirements to get that tuition scholarship.
When my principal elected for labor, for who labor? Everybody! Mother! Labor of the world!
Labor people!
Mother! Husband of the world! Everybody!
Comrades, and I know most of us here, we would have gone to college. Once you grow up under the ULP administration, you would have gone to secondary school and you would have gone to college. And you know what that did for our population? It advanced and it helped to enhance our human resource here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have a ton of young professionals across St. Vincent and the Grenadines who could represent us in any capacity. And we cannot say the same thing for all the countries across the region because we are the one prioritizing their education. Comrades, we heard a bit about ULP and the infrastructures that they have been putting in place. But I want to just go into detail in relation to some of these infrastructural developments because our government cares for us. And that is why we have been seeing the improvements of road, not only here in Marriaqua, but across St. Vincent and the Grenadines with our road rehabilitation project. And I hear Curtis behind me talking. I just sit down in cabinet. And I know for a fact, they always want to say that Jimmy has the best road and they always fixing back Jimmy roads. And Curtis always cussing because he wants his road fixed too. But I'm telling you, here in Marriaqua, we have seen a lot of secondary roads. You know, they have been paved. They have been better for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and here in Marriaqua. And all I know why I live up at Cotton Ground there, it wasn't always a paved road. It used to be muddy. I used to come down to school with muddy shoes because you have to walk through the mud when rain come in. And I don't know how much of you know Becca, who was married to Simeon Warren, my great-grandfather. I remember they went up there to talk to her and she was cussing. She wanted the road fixed. She said she does drag. She said, I drag pa me bottom go down the road. But because of this administration, we got our road fixed. We were patient and we waited and we have an excellent road. And I know some of you have the same testimony across the Marriaqua Valley.
Watch out government, don't be watch out government, go in university, watch out government.
When we talk about improvement to infrastructure, I have to talk about the lighting of our sporting facilities. Right here at the Richland Park School, all you could come and watch netball at night time, right? All you could come and watch netball because they put light down there so all you could see. Well, Jasmine, say you are a brighter light, but that coming, Jasmine. We get in that soon. But I am saying, comrades, we have done a lot in terms of improvement of infrastructure. Look at the Evisham playing field. They didn't have a playing field before, and we created that. The Glenside Recreational Center, we put that in place so that persons across the Marriaqua Valley could have access to those facilities to hone their skills, whatever they want to become in life. If you're not academically inclined and you're athletically inclined, we provide the resources for you. And that is why I go back to our slogan for this campaign, Own the Future. We are creating the platform for the people of Marriaqua, and we want you to use that platform and secure your future, comrades. Comrades, we have better health care, not only here in Marriaqua, but across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And Jimmy, might I add, has been an excellent Minister of Health here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
I'm phenomenal. I'm phenomenal. We're phenomenal. I'm phenomenal. I'm phenomenal.
Comrades, I love to talk about our health care. But let me put some facts before you, comrades. Our health care is one of the most affordable and accessible throughout the entire region and the entire world. Yes, we have a lot of shortcomings, but let me tell you something. You could go down to the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital and deliver a baby for $30. And if you don't have the money, they still deliver your baby, right? Some of us now even ever pay a bill down by the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. But we always going down there. We're able to go. We have access to the facility because we provide health care. And you know what the NDP said that they was going to do? They're going to privatize health care. And when they privatize health care, you know what I mean? The prices for simple things, so everything is going to skyrocket. I'll ever go to America and try to buy some pills or anything? Listen, the price of healthcare in America is very high. It's sky high. If you don't have insurance, crap or smoke your pipe. Comrades, we have to be grateful. We have the Modern Medical Diagnostic Center. When I was pregnant, I went out there to do an ultrasound and it cost me about $20 or $40. And I was going to tongue all the time and it was costing me at private $100 and something. But poor people could go to these facilities and pay less than $50 to get an ultrasound. And that is what we call affordable health care.
When my pencil money is for labor, for who labor? Everybody!
And you know, I have to talk about our very own Levi Latham Health Center, because it is one of the best facilities here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You could go there and deliver your baby too. You could go there, you could get radiology done, and a whole heap of other services they would offer to you. And sometimes they pay little to nothing or nothing at all to get your services done. So we have to look at how affordable healthcare is. And if I make a mistake and put that other party there in power, are they in trouble? Are they in trouble? Are they going to go and learn bush medicine? Because all they would not be able to afford healthcare here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They want to privatize it. And all they won't be able to afford it. Comrades, yes, comrades, I want to tell you, this government, when they talk about youth enhancement and advancement, we care about our youth. We care about our youth and what they want. That is why we not only have the education revolution, but we have a lot of skills training across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we know everybody don't want to be in book all the time, or sometimes you're not academically inclined. And so we have our athletes and we have our skilled professionals. You could go to a TVET center and learn plumbing, baking, dressmaking. You could learn all of these things because we have provided and we have created holistic education and holistic opportunities to benefit everybody in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So you know, once you go and you get your TVET education, you get certified, you can use those qualifications and work throughout the region, not only here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And you don't have to get subjects to go and do TVET. You know that? You know you don't have to get subjects to go and do TVET. If you're skillful and you want to better your skill, go to a TVET center and see how you enhance your life because of the opportunities that this government would have created. And I talk about our athletes. We have our very own Shafika Maloney, who live right around the corner there, right? This government has ensured that our athletes are well taken care of. This year they had in the budget a fast fund. And you know what is a fast fund? The fast fund is what our athletes, when they go to foreign and they need help to pay a little housing or training or coaching, they would ask for monies from the government, and we have a fund specifically set aside to help these athletes to push and to hone their skills so that they could be able to represent us on an international stage, just like how Shafika did. And we have to say thank you to this government, because they're the ones who are creating all of these opportunities for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Red blood in we put your hearts in the air.
Comrades, I heard the other day, the National Disaster Party. That's why I hear a young fella call it the other day, the National Disaster Party, because if they get into power, it's a disaster. I am telling you, they said that they would give $500 to every woman who go and make a baby. $500, comrade? What $500 could do? Who got in mind the baby for the rest of the years he alive? What $500 could do? And when they don't privatize healthcare, you might have to pay the $500 to deliver the baby. You think of that? They want to take us down to that level, $500 to deliver a baby. But comrades, this government, I remember receiving $500 when I passed maths and English at secondary school. And I remember receiving another $200 when I passed community college. And that was $700. And this government, under the education revolution, allows young women to empower themselves and to advance themselves by sending them to get their tertiary education. And when you go and you get a tertiary education and you come back and you feel comfortable enough to have a child and you can maintain that child, that is when you met the child. But we ain't going to tell you $500 to deliver a baby. We're going to create a platform for you so that you can come back and take care of your baby. That's what $500 going to, comrades.
But in the midst of all his enemies, try you keep me firm as bad mind and jealousy just get me feel.
The NDP have no vision. They do not have any vision. When we talk about we were going to build the AIA, they said, nah, no plane can land down out there. We said we're going to build a port. Come and say the port go drop in. Anything we say that we're going to do, it's not possible because they don't have any vision. We're building up an acute referral hospital and they want to tell us it ain't make any sense, comrades. They don't have any vision for our people. They just want power. They don't care about our people. And I will give all the two basic examples. The other day I listened to the video with Cummins and Leacock telling the people them about the hand, right? Imagine people at a rally supporting you, showing love to you, blowing their hands because they're supporting and showing love to you. And you turn your back on them and you talk to them in a condescending manner. Where is the love, comrades? Where is the love, comrades? Right here.
Baddest boy, baddest boy, baddest boy. We born bad and brave, but if it's one thing, a friend hard, a friend hard, a friend hard back, a friend hard. A friend was back, a friend hard, a friend hard.
I am telling you that party don't care about the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Because if they been care, there's no way they would have behaved like that. And I would see them, they would have more ambition when it comes to developing St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But they just try to oppose everything. They don't care what they can do for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I tell you they don't care. The second example I want to give all you. They said they were going to give students affected by a burial $100,000, you know, to help build back. Comrades, up to now, Friday can't produce the $100,000. But you know what's happening? Every week they're having a rally and they're bringing artists which cost $100,000 or more. So they don't care about those students who are affected, and it's still affected because up to now, we haven't completely fixed back Union Island. And they like to talk about, oh, they can't do anything. We can't help you because we're in opposition. But they're bringing artists every weekend. They're talking about, oh, our NDP shot look better than yours. But look how our Labour comrades look good in the tights and the shot here tonight. What are they talking about?
Yesterday was Labour, today's Labour, so we say Labour. Yesterday was Labour, today's Labour, so then tomorrow.
Comrades, they have all of this money to go wrong and campaign because they're working with the heads like China and them people there. And they want to bring China to sell out our country. China don't care about the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines because we see they send all the big money to campaign. But why Friday them couldn't ask for the $100,000 when burial affect the students them down Union Island? Why they couldn't ask for the same breadth for that money to better the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines? No, they wanted to take on campaign for see who look good and who this and who that. And bringing artists every week. But we, this government, care. We care for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I reposted a post on Facebook the other day that Luke Brown helped somebody who had whose house had burned down. Help build back that house. Luke Brown is in opposition because he's not the representative for East Kingston. Where Bramble doing? What is Bramble doing, comrades? Where is the love, comrades? The love is right here with the Unity Labour Party.
Yesterday was Labour, today's Labour, so we say Labour. Yesterday was Labour, today's Labour.
I don't wish to keep all them much longer, but you know what I want to tell all you? Our minister, Jimmy Prince, is a good man. Is an excellent minister and an excellent representative in Parliament. By the way, all are twice represented in Parliament because all they have me and Jimmy for fight for all you. And if all they want to continue to have a voice in this country, all they have to vote back Jimmy so that he could continue the good work that he has been doing in Marriaqua.
Today's Labour, so we say Labour. Yesterday was Labour.
Comrades, if you're not registered or talking to the young people, make sure you go out and get registered because we want full force when you see November 27th come. And I leave you with this. After November 27th and you hear the results on election night, just remember, NDP them dead. Them dead after that.
Yesterday was Labour, today's Labour, so we say Labour. Yesterday was Labour, today's Labour, so then tomorrow, we shall be taking Labour. Forever red we say, forever Labour, forever red we say, forever Labour, forever red we say, forever Labour, forever red we say. Still we jump up, and celebrate, jump up, it's extra, jump up, and celebrate, jump up, it's extra.
Comrades, I feel so good when I walk around here. I see some of the comrades, some of the men here who are young men in 2001, wandering around aimlessly, nothing to do. Some of these same guys have morphed into nation builders. Just over in Freeland, the road that links Freeland to Mount Pleasant at the moment It's being done by a team of guys from right there in Freeland and Mount Pleasant area. Freddie and the crew. Anybody here from Freeland area? Freeland, Mount Pleasant. I see Bondo over there. I see Benny. I see Zita. And who they behind there? I see some of the comrades over there. I see Wendy. Nah, you're not from Freeland. I see Max here. Max, in 2001, you ever imagine that Freeland man would have do the road, build the road from Freeland to Mount Pleasant? Eh? You never imagine that? Eh? So, when you hear them talk, we know. We know what's going on. We know what we're voting for. Who? Dexter, yeah. Another Freeland man. Another nation builder. Men them get elevated. You know what I mean? Because that's what the Unity Labour Party is about, eh? We're about elevation. We're about building people up. Some people have already built up themselves. Some people we still got help to build up. And that is all right. We're working on everybody who wants to be worked on. NDP, they like to appeal to lazy man. They like to appeal to waste man. Because, let us be frank, not everybody like work. Some people lazy. And the NDP like to go to the lazy men and tell them, it's Ralph's fault that you lazy. It's Labour fault that you lazy.
Everybody must work. Work. Everybody must work. Work harder. Everybody must work. Work. Everybody must work. Work hard.
But you see that man from Freeland that used to be sitting on the block every day in 2001. The block don't exist no more. Shopping center block don't exist no more. Because all the man that used to be sitting there, they were not lazy, they just didn't have anything to do. It's the same men them building the road now. Opportunities exist. And I'm talking to all the young men who might not be present here but might be hearing my voice right now. Get up and get. There are opportunities all around you. Labour has created opportunities for you to advance yourself, your community, and your family and your country. Get up and get.
Starlight, shining like a starlight, yeah. Starlight.
One of the ways that we've done so is through education and training. And we have done a marvelous job at transforming our education sector. We have had the most remarkable education revolution. And you know, in the early days, the education revolution was driven by Marriaqua and the Honorable Girl in Miguel. All the world would remember that. But today, we have expanded, especially over the last 5 years, and deepened that education revolution. We continue to build it out and provide more opportunities. And the man who has led for the last 5 years has done a phenomenal job. And we have to congratulate Curtis King. And I want to bring him here tonight to talk to us here in Marriaqua, to greet us from West St. George, and to tell us why we gotta keep the comrade here and keep Jimmy there.
Have gone, still the Son of Man keeps a trotting on. Journey, journey on.
Let us go.
Yeah, from innocence to experience, from dependence to independence. Journey, journey on.
Comrades of Labour, comrades of Marriaqua, comrades of Richland Park, and all the other comrades joining us here tonight. A pleasant good night. And I want to hear you out there. When we knock on the neighbor's door, what you expecting to hear?
Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Show me your voting finger. Raise up your voting finger. Show me your voting finger. Raise up the voting.
Comrades, I'm very happy to be here to endorse my brother, my friend, my comrade of many years, Comrade Jimmy Prince. This is a brother that has been doing a wonderful job for Marriaqua. And I know, with your help, come November 27th, he will be there again to continue the positive work that he has been doing.
Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Show me your voting finger. Raise up your voting finger. Show me your voting finger. Raise up the voting.
Comrades, I want to start on a very serious note tonight. You see, when the NDP was out there, you know, they like take out front. When they were out there all alone, they figured they had everything in control. You know, we keep saying, when one man run in a race, he come in first, second, third, everything. But when others join the race, then his first place is no longer assured. So they carried on and on and on. And then we got into the mix. And guess what? They start going backwards because this great party of ours has picked up momentum. And guess what? The NDP is going backwards. And I want to show you, because look, this is serious business. I want to show you how backward they are getting. I'm going to read something that was sent by someone in this country. He ain't declare himself on any political side. So I calling him a patriot, someone who loves St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And this is what he says. And I'm quoting here. There has been a sudden switch from attacking the performance record of the ULP to an obvious smear campaign filled with many falsehoods and lies. This is engineered by foreign entities. Guess who? The people who want to sell our passports. And the ULP's momentum and energy have heightened. We are talking about the smear campaign, the sudden switch by the NDP. Why? Because we have picked up momentum. And every time we have an activity, they see the writing on the wall. So guess what? They started off by trying to say that the Unity Labour Party has not done anything in 25 years. They start belittling every major project undertaken by the Unity Labour Party. But guess what? Once our momentum pick up and they recognize that people were no longer listening to their foolishness about the ULP not doing anything in 25 years, they switch. And they switch now to attacking us individually. So they come with falsehoods, they come with lies, hoping that that would gain traction. Because remember, when they alone won the race, they said they don't win. But now that we entered, they ain't saying that again. So what they start doing is try to spread lies and falsehood somehow to see if they could gain back some momentum.
I say trouble and mind out and win trouble. We say no man mind be trying to come around. Then can't come around. All when they want.
But it ain't going to happen. Let me tell you something. Age is an honor. But you have some grumpy old men in the NDP. They're dishonoring the age. But I'll tell you something. There's nothing that them old man in the NDP afraid like on. Give them your hand.
When they make it trouble you, oh yes, when they trouble you, oh yeah, gonna sing a song, give on the whole of them. When they make it fight against you, oh yes, when they fight against you, oh I'm gonna sing a song, give on the whole of them. So I'm gonna...
Yes, comrades. For 25 years, this Unity Labour Party has embarked on a program of action that has transformed this country from being in a stage where pursuits was saying and where the records was saying that we were third poorest country in the entire Western Hemisphere. We were the poorest where the Windward Islands were concerned. But guess what? You listen to these guys on the other side. Up to this morning, I heard one with his falsehoods and his lies. And I want to correct them. Because those who listen, you would note that they did not identify one source for the information. Well, I'm going to give you the source now. You see, we believe in truth because we recognize that politics is serious business for serious people. So, this morning, one of those guys on the other side saying St. Vincent was lagging 30 years behind its neighbors. I think he meant we're lagging behind 30 years in cricket. That is the West Indies cricket now. But not the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I want to quote from that source. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, SVG, ranked 76th on the Human Development Index in 2025, placing it in the high human development category with a score of 0.798%. This is the important part. This is an improvement from previous years, and the country has surpassed China. Yes, the country has surpassed China on the Human Development Index.
Guiltiness, rest on their country. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
When in 2001, the Unity Labour Party came to office, St. Lucia was ahead of us, Dominica was ahead of us, Grenada was ahead of us. But today, we are ahead of them. So when we say that our next goal, our vision, is to take us to the status of a first world country in terms of the quality of human life, we are saying that because that vision is very attainable. And it is just ahead of us.
Yesterday was labor, today's labor, so we say labor. Yesterday was labor, today.
But comrades, I want to make this point. We are only going to get there if the Unity Labour Party remains in office. And I want you to understand that despite the progress that we have made, it is not easy for a new party to come and continue. More frightening is the fact that the other party is the National Disaster Party, as you have heard. And it will not take time for them to roll back the progress that we have made.
Right now my country making progress, which means the leader is very blessed. Right now my country making progress, which means the leader is very blessed. Who behaving like the power possess. I believe the one.
Now let me tell you, when this United Nations Development Program, very reputable organization, when they did the study that resulted in the publication of the ranking, they studied 192 countries, and we placed 76 out of that. So I'm making the point that we have seen tremendous progress. And right here in Marriaqua, you have seen the progress. In Jimmy Prince, you have an excellent candidate. You have an excellent representative. And he has ensured that Marriaqua receives a lot of the support that was necessary to continue the transformation for the better in this wonderful constituency of
Keep the fire burning, keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. And when you vote for your party, remember to vote you happy. Burn them with the fire all the way.
And I'm happy that one of the best agricultural minister in the entire Caribbean region is here, Celebratory Caesar. He will tell you about the impressive work that you have done here in Marriaqua to ensure that we have food on our table. And I can tell you about the impressive work in education that has ensured that everyone in Marriaqua now, little children, I know we had a lot of them, they are now at age 8, 9, and 10. You know what they're thinking about? Going on to university and get an education and come back and enhance the lives of their family and themselves. I listened to a guy who I thought was a bright fellow talk some foolishness this morning. He said that Ralph Gonsalves is a communist, and communists like to offer free education. You hear how backward they're thinking? One of my comrades say they're stupid. Well, I say they're stupid.
Come up, we go mash them down and loose. All them are rings and a browns. Down them blacks will have to move. Come, we go mash them down, can't lose. Deal with them rust because of who them come up.
But comrades and residents of this wonderful constituency, I am not surprised that a fellow would be thinking that way, because once you're in that party, that's the only how you could think, backward. So he is saying that people shouldn't have a free education. They shouldn't have access to education, because when you train them and they become educated and they come back to St. Vincent, where we going to find work to give them? You hear backwardness?
Life's too dark, so me no worry. My life's too happy, no matter where them talk, no move.
But that does not surprise me. You know why? Because there are some of them in that party that do not believe that our people should have access to an education. And I'm serious about it. What they want is a primary school education. When we were talking about universal access to secondary education, that party opposed that magnificent project. And you know what they said? They said if we put all of our people in secondary school, we will be watering down the education system. That's what they said. So for them, some people should have a higher education so they could always be on top. And the ordinary people, they shouldn't have an education at that level.
They never want to see we strive for. So them say talk bad road in our life. Oh yeah, they never want to see we strive for. So them say talk bad road.
Comrades, for that alone, we should vote them into the opposition. Forever. But let us just quickly focus on Marriaqua and some wonderful projects in education. Look, we recognize that in our education revolution, it's not only about the academics. We are the ones who decided and who took the decision to expand our TVET training here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Because, as was said, they had Senior 1 and Senior 2 and Senior 3. And what they used to do, send the boys to go and do some joinery. Send the girls to do some cookery, and that's all. But we have said that as good as those skills are, we need to provide our young people with all the necessary skills to allow them to gain employment, to allow them to set up their own business once they have these skills. And so we enhance what they used to call TVET centers. We turn them into TVET institutes. And we have one, well, you know, we used to have 4. One in Barbados, one in Camden Park, one in Kingston, and one in Georgetown. But we have decided that, look, we have to take this technical vocational education and training to all of our students. So guess what? We have one now in North Leeward. I suspect the Prime Minister is coming. Okay. Okay, all right. We'll allow the destruction to... Well, boy, the people of Marriaqua, y'all are so lovely that I almost take your team.
Coming in stronger than ever. We're coming in stronger than ever. I said, everybody start jumping till Till it's a nation of it's time for we move to the future. Time for we stand up and shine.
Yes, comrades. Yes, let's settle down again. After the excitement, we'll continue. Yes, so I was making the point that we have decided to expand the TVET offering in our country. And right here in Marriaqua, you are going to have a brand new TVET center established next to your community center down there at Open. And now your students will no longer have to travel to Kingston to be provided with technical vocational education and training. You can stay right here in the valley and obtain that kind of training. That is the sort of vision we have. And Jimmy Prince, your candidate, your representative, he will deliver that project.
No matter what they say, it's labor on the way. Why? I'm not trading, not exchanging Labour Party. I'm voting not on back.
One of the things I like so much is whenever I go to a community, I always find some young person who is either studying at a university, studying at the college, or in secondary school. Now, what this is saying, it is keeping with our vision to ensure that by 2030, we will have in every home in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at least one person who is either college trained or university trained. That is the vision that we are talking about. And so, comrades, I want you to stick with your candidate. I want you to give him your support, as always. But I want to make this point before I take my seat. I want every comrade here tonight to go back home, sit down, and go over your list and make sure that everyone that you know, 18 years and over, is registered. Registered to vote. And if by chance you see on your list persons who have not yet registered, let me tell you, you have 2 more days. You have tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Get them to the registration center and get them registered. Once their names are on the list, they will be able to vote.
Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Show me your voting finger, raise up your voting finger. Show me your voting finger, raise up the voting. Alright, me and my neighbor.
Comrades, it is great for us to turn out in our numbers as we have done tonight. It is great for us to have the energy and the spirit. But let me tell you something, comrades. If on election day you don't go out and vote, all of this will mean very little. And more importantly, the progress that this country has made over the last 25 years will mean very little. You have to go out and vote to make sure that this great Unity Labour Party continue to transform the lives of our people.
Too far to turn back now. Yes, we're too far to turn back now. Oh yes, we're standing firm for another term. Too far to turn back now.
Because if you allow the other side, God forbid, to get into office, they don't give you all the signs. One, they are about making deals to get elected. That is why they have so many foreign operatives. I call them neo-colonialists. They think that we are still in the 18th and 19th century when they could come down and control us. They can't. We are an independent nation. But that other side have them here. And if you listen to the kind of nonsense they're promoting, that is why we have to ensure that they stay in opposition.
Keep them out, keep them out. They have a plan, keep them in the opposition. Yeah, keep them out, keep them out. They have a plan, keep them in the opposition.
So, you will hear lies. You will hear attack on your comrades. But you will not hear any serious plans from them. If you give them a chance, every Monday morning they come with some gimmick. So the last one is that all must go breed for 500. Damn out of place, if you ask me. Huh? These are the kind of foolishness that you hear coming from them. But if they are serious, they would sit down and analyze the challenges that we face and try to formulate programs that could be implemented. But they don't do that. In fact, every single program that this Unity Labour Party brings to the House of Parliament, they oppose it. Every single positive program. So you have heard it already. They oppose the airport. The very airport that generates economic activities today. They oppose it. Huh? They oppose, imagine that. They oppose the building of the Marriaqua Bridge. And then they're going up there and say they love people up there. I have always said, you know, that party is not a party of love.
I mean, I go in a Babylon kingdom, figure bed no bread. Me I go in a Babylon kingdom, figure bed no bread. False Satan company, they must not.
And to demonstrate that they are not a party of love, imagine our beautiful little children. They promised them assistance after they and their family would have suffered so much in burial, $100,000. But they can't deliver. Remember the Indian government yet, you know? They're making promises that they can't deliver. Huh? And look at the behavior of the grumpy old men in that party. The young people blowing their horns and enjoying themselves. Yes, man. That's how we do it. And this is how we do it. You see? Listen. When we say hold it, we hold it. Not true? Of course. Now, and I want to tell you this. If they ain't in power yet, they ain't in office, but they could turn their backs right there in the public and the young people. What the heavens they think they will do when they get into power?
Never let go. I never let go. God will never let me down. He's the driver of my vehicle. I never let go. Because I never give me the strength to stand up. God will never let me down. He's the father of my vehicle.
Comrades, you will not be able to talk to them. And the way how these guys behaving, if you go upstairs, they might kick you down the stairs if they agree with you. That is the behavior. That is why I'm saying, look at them. Don't bother with the promises that they make. Everybody can make promises. But they were there for 17 years. And we see how little they deliver in that 17 years. They are there now in opposition. And we see that they are making promises that they're not keeping. And more than that, we see the lack of love that they are demonstrating. But let me tell you something. They cannot share love. You know why? That party did something that until they ask God for forgiveness, they would never be able to display love. One of their senior members stoned a church. You ever hear in St. Vincent and Grenny, remember their stone church? And everything they're bad. And everything they're bad. They go in the church at a funeral of one of their leading spokesperson at the time and desecrated the church. God not forgive you for them unless you ask for forgiveness.
Keep bad mind out of my heart. Keep negative out of my thoughts. Me know it's like easy to pray the wrong way. So Jaja, please guide me every day. Keep bad mind out of my heart. Keep negative out of my thoughts.
So that is why I'm saying, they don't have love. You put them in office, they will not provide anything coming close to love. But this party, we have demonstrated love all the time. It's love that causes us, whenever there's a national disaster, natural disaster, to provide you were that assistance. So, look at the houses that we are rebuilding because they had no love. When we took the bill to Parliament, asking for support, $41 million to help to build back the houses, even fellas from the constituencies where the houses were damaged severely, you know them voted against that bill. That is a party with love. Huh? Look, they were in office for 17 years and they raised public assistance once. Well, they don't say public assistance, you know. How they don't have love. They disrespect you and talk about poor relief. But we recognize the dignity of our people and we talk about public assistance and we have already raised it 5 times.
We're gonna chase those crazy ballets out of town.
We will chase them out of town after this election.
Chase those crazy ballets out of town. And I build the cabin.
Comrades, that is why I say to you all the time, this is serious business. And I always speak with passion because I'm serious about my country. I want my children to own the future. I want your children to own the future. Yes, a comrade say he has a daughter. We have to ensure that we own the future. And the only way we are going to own the future is if we prepare ourselves. If we take advantage of all the opportunities to develop ourselves. Comrades, and when you have done that, you go to the polls and vote solidly for the Unity Labour Party, and vote solidly for the Star, and vote solidly for your candidate.
Labour people, hear this. When my pencil mark elects for Labour, for who? Labour. Everybody, mother. Labour of the world, mother. Man of the world, everybody, every Labour man, show me all the hand. If you're ready for election, show me every hand. Every Labour man, show me all the hand. You're ready to win the next one.
Comrades, I want to come a little personal and talk about Jimmy. Because it is important that you understand that you really don't have a choice in this constituency because of the opponent who is running against Jimmy. And I'm not talking anything about him as an individual. What I'm saying is that when you compare him with Jimmy, there's no comparison. Because, that's right, somebody said nobody running against Jimmy. I believe you. Let me tell you something. I know Jimmy since he going to St. Vincent Grammar School. I like to put in this piece here. He's a little bit older than me. But in a law firm, Jimmy, upright fella, and he would come around and share his Christian values with us, the younger students at the time. When I met Jimmy again, this time, both of us finished school, and I met him in a very progressive youth organization that we also have there in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Before the opponent who run against Jimmy say, before NDP mash it up. Now, I met Jimmy at a meeting of the National Youth Council. He was that's right, Jimmy never stone church, Jimmy also go church. Jimmy was representing the Anglican youth movement. And the meeting was so impressed with him. I'm talking about a long time ago. I'm talking about like 1981 or 82, you know. They were so impressed with Jimmy, they elected him on the executive as the public relations officer. Because they recognize Jimmy as a solid person. What I'm trying to say is not just now. Jimmy ain't get into politics to make a contribution. You know, Jimmy was making a contribution long before he entered politics.
Tell them we say no man curse. Don't matter how hard things get. Almighty God teach you the verse. Yeah.
And a lot of you know him as one of the outstanding media persons here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Working in the private sector on a voluntary basis, as well as, of course, working in the public sector. Same Jimmy here. Same Jimmy. And I'm going to say this. I said it at his selection process not too long ago. This gentleman, Jimmy Prince, is one of the most selfless person I have met. And I did on here a good while or not. And I'll tell you this, and I'll give you examples. It's only Labour Party would have these caliber persons, not on the other side. You see that Jimmy there? As a young man, Jimmy purchased a vehicle. Sometimes I tell Jimmy, I remember them vehicles, they're so good. 7922 was a pony, and I was mixed up the number for the next one, but I think it's 4656. I might be wrong on that one. But what I'm saying about Jimmy, Jimmy is a young man, purchased a vehicle. Most young men at that time, so glad to have a vehicle, they would treat their vehicle like their girlfriend. Nice it up and smooth it up. But Jimmy used his vehicle in the service of young people. Everywhere we are going, as the National Youth Council Executive, Jimmy vehicle is there. And I like to talk about this one. One time, we are going to Fancy. Now, Fancy Road nice, you know. Fancy Road nice now, thanks to the Unity Labour Party. And hold on. But not only Fancy Road, we didn't have no bridge over the Marriaqua River. So, Jimmy, new vehicle, had to be driven through that river. But the brother going with his vehicle. And many of us know about Rock Gutter, where they had the accident. Well, when we got to Rock Gutter, Jimmy driving, he couldn't drive the vehicle, go up there, you know. And Rock Gutter look nice today. But when I'm talking about in the early 80s, it didn't look like it stand up so. And Jimmy couldn't go up the hill. So guess what? We stopped the vehicle right down the hill. Ancillary change. So that we could carry over the vehicle over the hill. And guess what? I decided I going to come out because I'm the youngest. And I said, no, you stop there. If one dead, I'll go in there today. But the point I want to make, here was a young man, just purchased his first vehicle and putting it to the service of the people. This is the kind of man you have here. This is the caliber of representative that you have here.
I am blessed every day of my life. I am blessed when I wake up in the morning and I lay my head to rest. Every day of my life, I am blessed. Give me up, Mr. Me praise God, straight, make money, straight, money it has, straight, man, bad man.
And Shackle told you, I'm here lying. Sometimes I don't feel envious. Okay, me. But Jimmy is a man, he works for his constituency. I'm going to repeat, Jimmy is a man, he works for his constituency. So when you have someone like that, you're going to give him up for his shadow? Huh? You're going to give him up for his shadow? I know youth no better than that. And I know, come the 27th of November, there's only one person you're going to vote for. That is Jimmy Prince.
Yo, Labour people, hear this. When my pencil want the exits for Labour, everybody, mother, Labour of the world, mother.
And you're going to do that because you know, like I know, like the neighbor knows, that with Jimmy and the Unity Labour Party, St. Vincent could only go higher and higher.
Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Show me your voting finger. Raise up your voting finger. Show me your.
And comrades, I cannot take my seat before I tell you this one. Should I say before I remind you of the important, the magnificent, the God-saving role played by the Honorable St. Clair Jimmy Prince during that crisis that we had, the pandemic. A lot of people say a lot of things, you know, but they don't recognize how close this country came to collapsing in the various sectors. And as the late Panel Campbell said, he was very happy that in office, when we had all those challenges, was Ralph Gonsalves and the Unity Labour Party. And I'm going to say, I am extremely happy that it was Jimmy Prince who was in the Ministry of Health when we received that and when we faced that crisis. So a lot of them talk, but they don't know. And we have seen where Jimmy has led the recovery in the health sector to the extent now that we have all our clinics, polyclinics, hospitals, and so on throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Within 10 minutes walking and 5 minutes driving.
He never six. This time is plenty licks. He never six. This time is plenty licks. He never six.
So Jimmy was a nation builder before he entered Parliament. Jimmy is a double nation builder. And that is why we have to reward our nation builders by keeping them into office.
He never six. This time is plenty licks. He never six. This time is plenty licks. He never six.
This thing is serious business for serious people. This is not about some grumpy old men who find fault with everything. This is not about a party that lacks love. This is not about a candidate who is a fly-by-night candidate. This is about solid vision for the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is about a solid commitment of the people in the Unity Labour Party towards the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And for that, comrades, I want to ask you, I want to demand of you that come November 27th, that we all turn out and put our X's solid next to Sinclair Jimmy Prince.
And every time I knock on me neighbor door, I will and every time I knock on me neighbor door, I will He never six. This time is plenty licks. He never six. This time is plenty licks. He never six. This time is plenty licks. Never had you do knocking boom boom. Never had you do knocking boom boom. Karaoke time. Come on that you do knocking boom boom. The cover that you do knocking. I wanna hear you chant it out. And every time I knock on me neighbor door, I hear
What a time, yes, so tonight. Then people tell me, comrades, then people tell me, when they tell me I nearly dropped down, they tell me Philip start to talk to people now. It's true? It's true? You ever thought to see that in your life? Comrades, they tell me. Comrades, they tell me. I don't know. But they tell me Philippa go every funeral now. And not only that, he push down the pallbearers while lift up the coffin.
Who do you think you are? We're living in a small world. As wicked as you think you are, we're living in a small world. As bad as you think you are, we're living in a small world.
Well, to Philip custom to carry coffin now. On the 28th, he go carry and the peon. Eh? No, we are buried them on the 28th. Yeah, so Philip go carry coffin. Lord God. I'm saying Philip attack the people now. Anyway, anytime you see Philip coming, just give him a smile and give him a nice wave. You say, hey, Philip, how you doing, buddy?
When my pencil mark the exits for labor, everybody, mother, labor of the world, mother.
Comrades, I like how the mood festive tonight. I like how Richland Park festive tonight. So here what we're going to do. Here we're going to do now. In a little while, we're going to bring to you the top Sankey man in the whole of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Mr. Ulrich Bishop Pampil. You know Ulrich and Larson is the dream team. Larson is here too to back him up. So you know we're going to have a good time. We're going to party Richland Park style. But before we do that, comrades, I want to bring to you a distinguished gentleman. Where you get that from? Where you get that from? You not gonna read one? You take the people and thing. You take away the behind. Comrades, I want to bring to you a distinguished gentleman. I don't know him as a politician. And he doesn't operate like a politician. He's a community man. He's a brother. He's a father. He's a neighbor. He's a friend. We have known him as one of us for most of our lives and all of his life. And we will continue so to do. He's always met us and greeted us with a smile, with his warmth, his charisma, and his love. He has set about to do a whole lot of work throughout the length of breadth of Marriaqua. And the last 5 years has been the most challenging to get things done. I remember right here in Richland Park, where we are right now. This piece of road here, all you remember the amount of trouble we got to get this road here done with the contractor? I remember Jimmy fighting up so much with them guys. I remember he cussed them going and coming. There's a piece of road going wrong there to Riverside, the concrete road that just finished up last year. Remember how much problems you get with them? I remember how much Jimmy cost them. The piece of low road in Freeland. Well, he's still costing that contract today. It has not been an easy 5 years for representation. But we have seen that Jimmy has stuck with it throughout. When he says he's going to deliver, you can put your pot on the fire. Jimmy will deliver. And Jimmy will continue to deliver for Marriaqua. Comrades, I want you to put your hands together. I want you to welcome. I want you to blow your horns. I want you to bring in the man who cannot be beaten because he is royalty in the valley. He is the prince. He is the prince of princes. And he will continue to be our prince on the 27th of November. Welcome, Jimmy!
Keep the fire burning. Keep the fire burning. Burn down with your vote on election day. And when you vote for your party, remember to vote you will be. Burn them with the fire burning. Keep the fire burning. Burning. Keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. And when you vote for your party, remember to vote you will be. Burn them with the fire all the way. Keep the fire burning. Keep the fire burning. Burn down with your vote on election day. And when you vote for your party, remember to vote you will be. Burn them with the fire all the way. Keep the fire burning. Keep the fire burning. Burn down with your vote on election day. And when you vote for your party, remember to vote you will be. Burn them with the fire all the way. Keep the fire burning. Let me hear your hands. Keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. Celebrate Marriaqua. When you vote for your party, remember to vote you will be. Burn them with the fire all the way.
You're my neighbor, voting for Labour. You're my neighbor, voting for Labour. Show me your open finger, open finger. Show me your open finger, rest of the letter. You're my neighbor, voting for Labour. Voting for Labour. You're my neighbor, voting for Labour. This road, take the camera back. Take the camera back. I am sorry, I'm not bad. The NGP over yonder, every day they sit down. Comrades and friends of Labour, good night. Comrades, I hear you, and I love you. Thank you very much for such an enthusiastic welcome. I'd just like to say to you that still ahead, the Honorable Prime Minister says he'll be here soon. He has had 3 other meetings. He was at Otley Hall, and he went to Clare Valley, and I think maybe he's leaving Clare Valley to go to Marriaqua, and then he'll come here last, because he wants to be with you when you're in a festive mood. As you heard, you will also have Ulrich and Hans John will also be performing tonight. So we have a great night tonight, comrades. Earlier on, we had a procession from Jar Plum right down to the square.
I'd like to thank the persons who organized that. It was very impressive. And I think we made a statement. We made a statement to all of Richland Park that Richland Park is Labour and will remain so.
Coming in stronger than ever. We coming in stronger than ever. Yeah, I said, in a row, everybody start jumping to Labour.
And if the NDP think otherwise, tell them wheel and come again. Wheel and come again. We have no room for the NDP. Try as they might, whoever they want to pick up and throw at us, doesn't matter. We will continue to vote for progress. We will continue to vote for development. We will continue to vote for our future and our children's future. And that is why we have been voting Labour for the past 25 years in Richland Park.
Yesterday was Labour, today's Labour, so we said Labour. Yesterday was Labour.
I notice every time they talk about winning seats and how many seats they're going to win, they're kind of nervous to mention Marriaqua. Tell them don't bother about that. Don't bother about that. We are a different kind of people. We understand the progress and development. Because we ourselves, we have a tradition of working hard in this valley here. We have a number of farmers. We have people who are entrepreneurs. We are accustomed to building our own buildings and doing what we can for ourselves. So no kind of mumbo-jumbo umbrella NDP could come and tell us anything about politics.
Yesterday was Labour, today's Labour, so we said Labour.
Comrades, the Unity Labour Party, which you support, is coming to you again, this time for a 6th term. Not because we want bragging rights, not necessarily only for democracy's sake, but we're coming to you for a 6th term because we believe, we are confident that your future is riding on a 6th term with the ULP. That is why we come to you. We also know that the NDP does not have a plan for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Look, you heard from Curtis King. All my life I spent as an activist, community activist, a youth worker, etc. And I know that any little youth group anywhere, if they want to go forward in the community, will have a plan. How come a mass party like the NDP for 25 years can't put together something and say this is what we're presenting to you? For 25 years, they can't say this is what we have. This is how we intend to go for tourism. This is how we intend to go in agriculture. This is what we're going to do for education, or health, or the social services, or whatever facet of society there is. They can't tell you what they're going to do.
Them can't be Labour, never. Labour in my faith and Bolivar. Them can't be Labour.
That is why we can't vote NDP. I don't know if they know that, why we can't vote them. In contrast to that, we have a ULP, which time after time has come to you with a manifesto that outlines how St. Vincent is going to look in the next 5 years. Earlier on we said we're going to have an education revolution. And within that revolution, we're going to have, on average, 1 graduate per household in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by 2030. And we are on track to achieve that. That's a plan. We knew that in this time, we need to educate our population so that you can understand your environment, that you can treat with your environment. So we have to educate these youngsters. We can't continue with this 1920 thing. The youngsters have to understand, they have to be trained, and that is why we embarked on the education revolution. So now you have schools in Marriaqua benefiting from government's intervention, although they are private schools. Let me tell you one example. The principal of the Emmanuel High School, Mesopotamia, told me one time, he said, listen, I am getting a lot of requests from people of Marriaqua to come to that school, especially people from Richland Park. Especially people from Richland Park. But he said, Mr. Prince, I don't have any room. You keep calling me, but I don't have room. I need another building. So I went to the Prime Minister, cap in hand, and I said, PM, we need to help the Emmanuel High School, Mesopotamia. Prime Minister is an education Prime Minister. He said, go ahead. We gave $750,000 to that school to build a new wing. You see that wing down there? How many of you know people who don't live with that school from Richland Park? That is what we talk about revolution. When we talk about revolution, you know, it's just a big word for the term change. We're changing for the better. When they say they want change, that's a different thing they're talking about. We are the change. We initiate change. So we help out that. And let me say just by the way, you know, a school is going to be put around there by the Adventist church. You know, government is going to help in that too. It is in Richland Park, it is in Marriaqua, and we're going to help. Minister of Education here can back me up.
Oh, you have them. Oh, you have them.
Let's go further. When I left the grammar school, there are 2 scholarships. 2. You know what that means? If you have 60 people living in the school, that's in Form 6, only 2 can go to university, if they, except for those people who had money. I come from farm. Money is not something I know about. Now, we have the most students at university, non-campus, as a non-campus territory, in Barbados, in Trinidad, in Jamaica, and maybe in Antigua.
Oh, you have them. Oh, you have them.
One of them say, you can't eat degree. I don't understand that. But I could tell you one thing, degree could help you to eat. And as the time goes on, you'll find out how important it is to train people. Nowadays, you have in St. Vincent and the Grenadines people who are trained by this government as doctors and lawyers and agriculturists and all kinds of professions in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This last year here, the government gave out nearly 3,000 tuition scholarships. That is, you could go to a university, online particularly, and don't pay a cent because government paid it for you. You know, instead of putting up a fight, treat the youths right. I'll tell you something else. Out of that, we have given 205 scholarships to people from Marriaqua. 205. Right now, there are 205 people studying online for the bachelors from Marriaqua. That's in addition to the others that we have before.
Dreams of brighter days. Giving thanks. As the days goes by, giving thanks.
I know that you know that, because I'm sure you have children or sisters and brothers or you yourself who are recipients of tuition scholarship, and what you intend to do with that training. Because one of the surest way out of poverty is education. And that is why this government is insisting on education. So make sure that your children go to school, and make sure when they come back home, they do the work. Because once they do well at school, book it and show, as they say. This government is going to give a scholarship to that person.
And when the wicked are come with them words, still I give thanks and praise. And when me never have no food on me plate, me never put that on.
This is not an empty promise because you have the evidence. In some cases, you are the evidence. And apart from that, of course, we have revolution in health, and you've heard about that before. Right now, we have 72 people on dialysis machines in Georgetown. People with kidney failure. Before we introduced that in Georgetown, people had to go overseas. And if you can't go overseas, if you're too poor, you're dead. You understand what I'm talking about? Because it is important that you understand these things, you know, and don't take these things for granted. Because people walk around with you and talk foolishness about time for them to go and don't understand what you're losing if they go. Policies of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, policies of the ULP are at work among us as people. And if you think deeply, you will see how these policies affect you. Let me give you one example. I was talking to a very good mentor of mine just now. One example. The government said some time ago, if you want to build a house as a young professional, you go to the bank, you get 100% loan. You remember that? 100%. You don't have to pay down anything. The 10% and the 20%. And then all of a sudden, houses start mushrooming all over the country. People start building their own houses and paying back for them. But hear what? Because there are so many houses being built, there are people who are contractors making plenty of money. So one contractor will have 3 and 4 houses building. And they could brag off and say, boy, I built in 10 houses, I'm a millionaire. But they will never say it is the policy of the government why that is happening. Go ahead. Sometime last year, a lady met me, and there's something was bothering her. She wanted some help, but she wasn't getting it quickly enough. And she started cursing me out. I not help nobody. Yeah, once the people I help, me not gonna help. And then I said to her, wait, hold on a while. You have 2 children at university. 2. One of them doing medicine, and the medicine costs about nearly $450,000. The other one is doing economics in Jamaica, Mona. That's another $200,000. I said, you alone getting $400,000 plus $200,000, nearly $750,000 for you alone. That help? It's only then she realized we ain't thinking deeply enough. We're taking things for granted. Because before, that was not so. But the government, policies of the government is what we're talking about here.
On the campaign, we on the campaign, and forge back, you will be again. Defend your leaders, defend your country, defend your party, defend your game.
So when they come to you, you need to be armed with these facts. You need to be armed with these facts. I digress just now because I was talking about hemodialysis. $500 per session is what is charged for hemodialysis. And most patients require 3 sessions per week. $1,500 per week. That's a lot of money. You know what we decided to do? Give it free. So dialysis is free. And I went further. A couple of months ago, well, about a month ago, I asked the cabinet to allow us to buy 3 buses to take people from their homes up to Georgetown to get dialysis treatment free of charge.
Zero me I come from. Oh, look by me, no. Look by me, no. Look by me, no.
Free
I know
of
me I
charge.
come from.
Because we are concerned about people. We are concerned about people. But we take these things for granted. We don't look at them deeply enough. This government has a record of working for people. There is a record of working for people. I cannot tabulate all of those achievements of the government here tonight. It will take me years to finish. Because I ain't talked about the airport yet and what the airport has done for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I ain't talk about how the Marriaqua Bridge transformed the entire Carib community. I ain't talk about Newport and all of that. Other people will talk about that. But I just want to remind you that when they come to you and tell you about change and time for somebody else to go there, think again. Think how that will affect you and your livelihood and your future. Because if the NDP was in power during the pandemic and the Soufriere eruption, hell would have break loose in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This government, this ULP government, evacuated 20,000 people in one day after Soufriere. And we evacuated a whole island for burial. Pandemic, Soufriere, hurricane. You have to have a steady hand. You have to have experienced leadership. Ralph Gonzalez is the man. And that is what we are contrasting here. We have the better leadership, we have the better candidates, and we have the most caring political party, the ULP. One of the biggest jokes we hear about is the NDP in Marriaqua saying Jimmy ain't doing nothing in Marriaqua. Nothing at all. And they're so foolish. They're saying it to you. Who know more than them? Eh? You have the evidence.
Oh, Father God, guide me from the bad night people. Want them way I
I have a list. And I left it there because I think I remember them, all of them out my head. I have a list of 70 major projects that are taking place in Marriaqua. Well, have taken place and some are ongoing in Marriaqua. 70. I could talk about Richland Park alone, you know. You see that road from Dry River, come right up here. You remember when it was difficult to drive out of here and drive in? So we said we're going to realign some places. We're going to widen some places. We'll put some good drainage. And we have a road, a brand new road from Dry River up to this point here. And since I was a little boy, John Bigota was always John Bigota. Dark and dreary and bad. What we did? We rehabilitated the entire roadway. And we call it the Winston Bacchus Drive. Beautiful drive from here right around to Lime Hill.
got to fight on, get up, stop complain. This is the universal pain. From sunrise to sunset every day is a living shame.
Some of these things are simple, but they carry big effects. For instance, just this here, this little shortcut there. People used to spray in their ankle all the time. What we do? We just pave it and put a rail on it. Easy, done. And then we have a walkway that goes up opposite the Adventist Church, up by Piper area, that we fixed recently. And then we did the first part of the Benjamin Bristol Road. We have a second part to do, and we'll do that come January. We'll begin that. Right now, we are finishing up the road in Riverside. If you go down there and you see it now, beautiful road, being done by a resident there. We did that. Off Benjamin Bristol Road, there are some people who lived over a gutter for years. And they came to me and said, listen, we have no access to our homes. And we built a beautiful pedestrian bridge over the gutter. And Gutton Kane tell me, call it the Charlotte Bridge, Charlotte Tony Bridge. I don't know if you know about that. And further up the road, remember we did the Stalin Spring Road? Remember what it was before that? Listen, I want to talk about Richland Park tonight, you know. Richland Park alone. And then we go further up, and the Callan Green Road. You know what's Callan Green? Oh yes, man. We have a beautiful name for it. We built a bridge and built an entire roadway from Benjamin Bristol Road right around to the new housing development. We did that. We ain't doing nothing. And then further up the road again, you heard Shakel talk about the hill where she lived. It was a bank. I don't know hill, it was a bank side. Go the hill. We fixed that. We did a new road there. And just below down there, they call it Ply City. We built that road too. And the next thing we'll do, we'll join that round to Callan Green, and we have a big ring road. You don't have to come around the other side. You go through there.
There's a place in the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race.
I told a friend of mine some time ago, I said, when I done with Richland Park, it's the next tongue. We're changing it. We're transforming Richland Park. One road by one road. And other infrastructure. But I've gone around so far. I forgot that we have in Richland Park the most modern early childhood development center in the entire country.
Yesterday was labor, today's labor, so we say labor. Yesterday was labor, today's labor.
The Minister of Education is here. I ain't talking nothing out of school. I ain't telling no lie. That is the most modern. And we built it because we realized we have a lot of single mothers in Richland Park and people want to go to work. So they have to have some way to leave their children. And it is free.
I love my life, 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 I love my life.
I ain't done yet. And you would think it's the whole of Marriaqua talking about. It's Richland Park only talking about now, you know. Further up the road, there was a problem with the bank near to where, what's her name again? It slipped me. Above John Lewis. Bevy. There was constant erosion of that bank coming up to her house, inches away from her foundation. She was in trouble. Not only she was in trouble, if that continued like that, Caliper would be cut off from the rest of Richland Park. You know that. And those of you from up the road, from Mountain, would know what I'm talking about. Caliper will be cut off. The Water Authority works will be cut off. Montreal Gardens will be cut off. And scores of farmers who work farms up in that area would have no way of getting into their farms. So again, I went back to cabinet and asked for permission to do something about Haksha Bank. And the engineers went there and said we have to cut into the bank, we have to realign the road, we have to put proper drainage, and then we fix the road. Right now, that is almost finished. In fact, I think it's finished virtually. Haksha Bank. And you may wonder, what happened to the house that was there? We are building, baby, a brand new house. Listen, this is how this government works.
You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone.
This is how this government works. And this is how this candidate responds to the needs of the people of the constituency. I run around the place and bragging and talking, boo, 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 boo. We do the work. Because that is what you put me here to do. Get things done.
My God, and they know bad like me. And them a gonna they know mad like me. My God, and they know mad like me. And them a chat they know mad like me.
Let me continue. Still in Richland Park. Look at the Montreal Road. I know you don't get so far up in a lot of people in Richland Park take years before you reach Montreal. One of the most beautiful roads we have in this constituency is the Montreal Road. And we also did the Macmillan Road. So what we have is a beautiful ring road that starts off down at the bottom at Kelipa and goes right around and come back over the river. This is your government at work. In addition to that, we realize that there are more farmers who have farms just off Macmillan, between Macmillan and farm. So what we did, we built a road linking Macmillan to farm. I don't know if you know that, but go up there and see it. This is the work that we have been doing over the past 5 years, or 10 years for that matter.
Wonderful world, beautiful people, you and your girl, things could be pretty.
We have done, that's about 19 projects. 19 projects in Richland Park alone. And I'm talking to you directly because I know this is a Richland Park crowd predominantly. But that's not all we have done in Marriaqua, you know. It couldn't be. You've seen how we've protected Mesopotamia Central with all the river defense. We have on the Zenga River, on the Tiviot River, and on the Ford River, all 3 rivers, to protect life and property of the people of Marriaqua.
Marriaqua want, the people want, push it to the best, oh yeah, up so, shoot it, up so, shoot it, up so, shoot it, up so.
I'll tell you more. We had to put in a river defense in Glenside in order to build what has become the most used recreation facility in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Glenside Recreation Center. And you know it. And right above that, we put in a road that goes up to Sprott Hill and goes right over the other side, linking Sprott Hill and Dickey. 400 meters of road, footpath.
Plus I wake up this morning feeling so amazing. So amazing. I'm feeling so amazing.
We have transformed Glenside. I don't know if you knew Glenside before it is now. Glenside is a different place. People feel different about themselves in Glenside because they have a coat with lights and they have roads and they have more to come. Because I ain't just stopping my laurels. We're doing more work. But even before you reach down there, we have built at Hopewell. And those people from Hopewell will know what I'm talking about. We have built the most modern community and civic center in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Most modern.
Red blood in we put your hands in the air.
You must go and see it. We will open it officially on the 18th, that's next week, Tuesday. I'm inviting all of you to come down. It is yours. It belongs to you. It replaces the old community center that we built in the 1960s. This is a very beautiful structure. It is an emergency shelter at the same time. It's built like a fortress with 40,000 gallon water tank underneath. Go and see it. We ain't just build a center. We build something that could be used. In it, you have facilities for home economics. It begins the process of the Marriaqua Technical Institute. That's what we're beginning there. And right next to that, because I bought 2 acres of land there. We took up about a half acre for this center. We have more land left. We're going to build the most modern technical institute in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on that spot.
Bigger than all my problems, bigger than all my fears. God is bigger than any mountain that I can and cannot see. Bigger than all my troubles.
But these things take time. When I was Minister of Education, we started the process. The Minister of Education now has taken over. He put $500,000 in the budget for this year for it, to start it. But so many things overtook us. We will start it in January. I ain't saying that we want to do something like that, you know. I'm saying that we have started the process. At Hopewell. We have a design already. A design already done for that institute. And our young people will be able to go there and learn. We have on the program, on the curriculum, auto mechanic, plumbing, electrical, just name it, we have it. So your youngsters, if they don't want to go that pathway towards the academics, could go into that other pathway towards self-actualization.
Watch out,
Development we come for.
watch out, government. 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 Watch out, government.
Comrades, as I said, I wouldn't talk about everything that we did. It's too many. But the major ones I could talk about. Right now, there is a road being built. It's about what? 70%, 80% finished. From the bottom of Marriaqua, throughout the entire length of Mount Pleasant, right down to Freeland. Go see that too. But mostly they he working on it. And Freddie and Max and them working on it. Our own people working there under the other contractor. And the Mount Pleasant people are seeing something happening in their village. Their property values are rising. Their ease, their comfort is improving. That's Mount Pleasant. And right over the other side in Carré, I tell you about Carré. We're going to rehabilitate the entire roadway in Carré. From Collins Bridge to the Carré Bridge. They have started that work already. All the civil works are finished for them now to go and pave it. We're waiting on the contractor to be ready to pave it. And I hope they do it soon.
Them no inna my leg, no inna my leg. Them I put a little bit of in my wrist now, and after them I lead, no inna my leg.
In Evesham, we bought lands from the Windsor estate, and we built a very beautiful playing field there. You could go over and see it too. As I tell you before, you know, this ain't no PR candidacy you're talking about here. This ain't a fly-by-night candidacy you're talking about. This is a candidacy that take people into consideration, that take development absolutely seriously. And we will continue to do this work. You will see more work being done in Richland Park in the next term. You will see more work being done generally in Marriaqua in the next term. I will continue to support education for the people of Marriaqua in the next term. I will continue to support the deepening and the broadening of health services in Marriaqua. I will continue to support the social safety net that will capture a number of people who are vulnerable in Marriaqua. This is your government in action. This is your political party in action. So when they come to you with the foolishness, tell them you have the facts. You know who you're voting for and why. You know who you're voting for and why. It is only your reaction. It is a thought out action on your part, because you ain't stupid. You are Marriaqua. You are sensible. You are accustomed to seeing development. Whether you do it or somebody else does it for you, but you know what is development, and you will continue. You will continue to support the Unity Labour Party because of that. So your choice on the 27th. ULP all the way. ULP all the way. You will vote for Jimmy Prince as the candidate in the next election. Thank you very much. Good night.
Come here, my neighbor. Voting for Labour. Here, my neighbor. Voting for Labour. Show me your voting finger. Raise up the voting finger. Show me your voting finger. Raise up the voting. Alright, me and my neighbor. Here, my neighbor. Voting for Labour. Voting for Labour. Me and my neighbor. Here, my neighbor. Voting for Labour. Somebody say, oh, we voting the camera back. Yeah, we voting the camera back.
say good night to some comrades here. I see Teddy there. I see Pinga here. I see Hans there. I see Mad Skull flying direct from London to be with us for the campaign. Touchdown in the Virgin at AIA. I see the Chair Jackson is here as well. Let's greet Chair Jackson. Strong comrade that. Man never shaky yet. I see Kim. I see Kim and the crew. I see Anella. Where's Anella? Anella was just somewhere here just now. Where Anella gone? Anella, where you? Look, Anella. Anella, come. Yeah, she now hide on Facebook though. Yeah, put it on Facebook every day. Big up Anella. And there's our youth leader is here as well. Where's she? Come. Come, say good night to our youth leader. Come say hello to the people. We always give the young people their chance to shine. And the youths are having... Come love, yes. Come. The Marriaqua youths are having an event on Friday, right? Friday. So let me let you say hello briefly and also to invite the young people to the event on Friday.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Marriaqua family. Who we voting for? Who we voting for? So my name is Savannah Black, the youth coordinator for Marriaqua Youth Arm. I want to invite all my youths to come out and support Jimmy Prince. I want every new voter to vote for Jimmy Prince on the 27th of November.
Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour.
On Friday, we will be having a youth social at more information. On Friday, we will be having a youth social, but more information will be coming soon.
Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour.
We also have with us here tonight our representative in the Miss Unity Youth competition, which is taking place this Saturday at Honoursville Playing Field. And I want to invite Brittany to step forward so that you can greet her. And I hope all of you are coming out to support her on Saturday night. Brittany Jackson is our rep for Miss Unity Youth in Marriaqua, and she's gonna be bringing home the crown.
Voting for Labour.
She's gonna be bringing the crown to Marriaqua.
Voting for Labour. Show me your voting finger. Raise up your voting.
Oh, baby. Shawty, you're looking fine. God must have spent a little more time. You're the only thing on my mind. This is the sign. This is the truth. You look good in all your birthday suit. You're the one who can blow my food. White roses and a blue. You are so special in my life.
You're the one who's gonna make it right.
Junction Labor, comrade that. Suzette, nice to have you. The whole family is here. Well, I think it is time. We Bishop. We should sing a Sankey now, or we should go to Saboto now. Which one all you want? All you want Sankey now? All you want Saboto? And then Sankey. Saboto. Then Sankey. Saboto. And then Sankey. Saboto. 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 Saboto.
I'm alive.
Comrades, friends all, I am happy to be here tonight with you, and I want to say to you by introduction, I love you, the ULP, we are in love with you, and we know that you love us, we love you bad.
I will do anything for you cause I love you bad. And the highest mountain as I love you bad. Give you all the heart as I love you bad.
Wait. Oh, I loop me after. You know that we love you bad because we come to you, the farmers of Marriaqua, the farmers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and you continue to be the breadbasket of the Southern Caribbean. You feed this region. We love Marriaqua people bad.
Love you bad. Love you bad. I go do anything for you cause I love you bad. Climb the highest mountain cause I love you bad. Give you all the heart cause I love you bad. I love you bad.
When Sofre erupted and covered the whole place in ash, we did not leave the farmers behind because we love you bad. And when Beryl came and blood on all the planting and the bananas, we stood by your side because we love you bad.
I will do anything for you cause I love you bad. And the highest mountain as I love you bad.
And for all the great dashing farmers here in Marriaqua, the dashing farmers in Richland Park, South Central Windward, throughout the country, on Thursday, we are going to buy dashing right over there in Lauders and in Lacqua to make sure you're paid no less than $100 per sack. I hear some people want to sell dashing for $50 a sack. Never! Not under this government. We're going to take that over because we love you bad.
I go do anything for you cause I love you bad. Can the highest mountain as I love you bad. Give you all of your heart as I love you bad. I love you bad.
I want the trafficker to hear this, and I love the traffickers too. I want the traffickers to hear this. The price for dashing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is no less than $100 per sack. If you don't have the money, don't come by my dashing field.
I go do anything for you cause I love you bad. Can the highest mountain as I love you bad. Give you all of your heart as I love you bad. I love you bad.
Comrades, the people of Richland Park, the people of Marriaqua, you are blessed by Almighty God to have some of the best soils anywhere you can find in this entire world. God loves you bad.
I go do anything for you cause I love you bad. Can the highest mountain as I love you bad. Give you all of your heart as I love you bad. I love you bad.
When we were looking for places to put down a greenhouse park, we came right here in Montreal. And the volcano erupted. We had to move everything out of Orange Hill and bring it there to Montreal. Imagine, the ash went on the plastic and the thing caved in, leaving just the elbows. Friday went up there, mocking the thing, laughing after the thing, affected by suffering. But we will never do that. We don't laugh at disasters because we love our people bad.
I go do anything for you cause I love you bad. Can the highest mountain as I love you bad. Give you all of your heart as I love you bad. I love you bad. I love you bad. Do anything for you cause I love you bad. Can the highest mountain as I love you bad. Give you all of your heart.
There is established in this country, and I want you to listen to this carefully, a company by the name of the Eastern Caribbean Food Traders Limited. They will be buying produce in Landy Park. They'll be buying produce Belmont on the leeward side. They'll be buying produce in Lauders and in Lacqua. And in the new term, we will be introducing the same system that you had under bananas, where when you sell, we agree with you, you give a cess. And I see my comrade here, he put up his hand because he believes in his cess. And the company would hold your cess and trust so that whenever you're ready for man, you don't have to come back to me, but you could use your cess. We're doing that because we love the farmers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, man.
I go do anything for you cause I love you bad. Can the highest mountain as I love you bad. Give you all of your heart as I love you bad.
Tell the NDP, Caesar bringing back cess. The Unity Labour Party, we're bringing back the cess. The other thing, under the NDP, you had over 70% of the people who were planting bananas. They left the banana industry whilst the NDP was still in office. Now if you have 100 things, if you have 100 men in a party, and you see 70 of them walk out, party done. It took the Unity Labour Party to diversify the agriculture sector in this country. And today I boast to you as the longest serving minister of agriculture anywhere in CARICOM that we have the most diversified agriculture sector. And I love the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, man.
Do anything for you cause I love you bad. And the highest mountain as I love you bad. Give you all of the heart as I love you bad.
Let me tell you something. Marriaqua is not only blessed with good soil, but also blessed with good people. Good people who continue to contribute to the development and the advancement of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in many diverse ways. I see here tonight in the crowd my former teacher, Mr. Kane. And Mr. Kane taught me in St. Martin Secondary School. And Mr. Kane, he taught Candyman too. He's one of the brightest teachers anywhere you could find in the Caribbean.
Oh, as sure as the sun will shine, I'm gonna get my share now. What's mine? And then the harder they come, the harder they fall.
Among us here tonight, we have persons who worked with the Banana Growers Association, who work with the Fair Trade, who work with different companies pertaining to agriculture. And I want us to show those persons our love because of their hard work and dedication why we have such a robust agriculture sector in this country here today.
Be good to the people on your way out and let them sweep them on your way down. That's the way. That's the way.
You know, my father was a banana farmer. And when my father was planting bananas, I was going to half day school. When we have evening school, I have to head banana before I go to school. And if you come back, sometimes you have to deal with different things. You have to go and bring in a sheep and a goat when you come from school. So I was raised in an agriculture community. My mother a housewife. I'm a father, a farmer. I know sometimes a farmer could work so hard when he come home. He's so tired. He watch a plate of food there. He can't touch a plate of food. But the farmers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we will continue to support you because you are supporting this blessed country.
Do anything for you cause I love you bad. And the highest mountain as I love you bad. Give you all of the heart.
And when we were constructing the Argyle International Airport, some persons were thinking, well, the international airport is only about tourism. It's only about bringing people to see the beauty of the country. But when we constructed the Argyle International Airport, it was not only bringing people to see the beauty, but also to eat food in this country. And because of the Argyle International Airport, and we now have thousands of persons coming to the country as stay-over visitors, not just coming in the morning and leaving in the evening on a boat, you know. They come in to spend a week. They come in to spend 2 weeks. They come in at Sandals. They come in at the Holiday Inn. They come in throughout the length and breadth of this country to spend time. And the farmers of Marriaqua, the farmers of Richland Park, the farmers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Fisher Folk, you have to provide food for them. That is money in your pocket.
When my pencil mark the next is for labor. For who? Labor. Everybody! Mother! Labor of the workers live up. Mother! Government of the workers
The NDP, they never put $1 aside. All I hear they say, a man said he had money in his back pocket. Never bring the money forward. It took the Unity Labour Party and the vision of our Prime Minister, Comrade Ralph, who will be here with us in a little bit. It took the hard-working cabinet to come together and to show the love for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to construct the Argyle International Airport.
Do anything for your cause, I love your bad. Climb the highest mountain as I love your bad. Give your whole lot to the whole as I love your bad. I love your bad.
The airport is constructed, and not only are we bringing more tourists to the country for farmers to produce for them, but importantly, if you have 5 acres of land and you're under the sound of my voice, and you had 3 acres of that land in Dashin, make sure plant something for the tourists to eat. That is what I mean about diversification. Don't only plant one crop alone. When you plant different things, you could sell different crops on different weeks, and you have more money in your pocket, so you could come right here and we can enjoy ourselves. You could take care of your children better. You could take care of your health better. You could take care of your house better. You could take care of the wealth of the community better. We are about the betterment of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Do anything for your cause, I love your bad. Climb the highest mountain as I love your bad. Give your whole lot to the whole as I love your bad.
And you have a valley like the Marriaqua Valley. And I know, Jimmy, there's a big argument as to who does produce the better Dashin. If it's Mespo Dashin or my Dashin from South Central Windward. But I ain't gonna get in the argument tonight. But I love all Dashin. When I come in from Mespo Valley or the Marriaqua Valley, I am a Dashin eater. And you can't demand saying no argument. Comrades, not only are we seeing thousands of persons coming into St. Vincent and Grenadines to the Argyle International Airport, but 2 weeks ago, we got the certification where we can now export food, fly food out of the Argyle International Airport to the United Kingdom, to the rest of Europe. We need to celebrate that tonight. We need to celebrate it with the Unity Labour Party. You need to celebrate it with the Minister of Agriculture. You need to celebrate it with the workers of the AIA.
Push it, push it. Sweet as a gajong, that's food. Come in the party, it took about 50 seconds before we could spot the friend. He alone had a battle of petrol, I asked him if me depend it. I was asking me stupidness. Jerry had a little and my money had a rum dog. Collecting power board with the glass, the alcohol of me moving dog. 84.5, but them kind of speed, it does make a crash.
Let me tell you something, right? I was born in a house not too much bigger than this stage. A house on Marjorie Post. And if you're born in a house on Marjorie Post, you know when rain come and the rainy season, the Marjorie does start to grow. And you know if you have some animals under the house, the animal them just try to bark the Marjorie. Kitchen outside. Everything else outside. The only thing inside the house, you had a little kind of table, nail lamp on the wall with a bucket, with a cup in it. So if you wake up and you want some water and you have to go out the door, you could drink the water right inside the house. There is where Saboto Caesar. There is where I come from. So any bad-minded person want to come to destroy St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I will put my life on the line to protect my country.
It is alright, alright. It is alright, alright. As long as I have my Lord beside me, it is alright. As long as I have His hands to hold, as long as He watches over my soul, as long as I'm under His control, it is alright.
And I want to say to the farmers of this country, you have toiled. You have been there through the thick and through the thin. In some other countries, when you have the changeover from a major crop, and that changeover came about because of forces in Europe, some people usually walk away from the thing. But all resiliency in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, when it gets rough because of what is happening internationally, we don't hide from hard work. We buckle up our shoes and we put our shoulders to the wheel, and with the great leadership of Comrade Ralph, with the great leadership of the ministers, and with the great leadership of representatives like your representative and representatives throughout the history of the Unity Labour Party, we are able to stand tall today in this world.
I say no man curse. Things getting better when they thought it would be worse. Here comes the officers asking for a search. They found no weapon, just only a drawers. But I'm so sorry, those are rough. They just can't stop me now. Even when they said they're tough, they just can't stop me now.
But there are some, though they know they can't stop us, they will try to set up roadblocks. And I want to talk about some of the roadblocks. They have some people, and some of us have some friends. When they're watching, they try to sell you out. And the NDP, they want to sell out St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The first thing they want to go after is the passport. And you and I know that Friday and his team, for 25 years, they're getting some support from some people. And come the 28th of November, the day after the election, and the NDP, they lose again. I want to know how they're going to face those people, how they're going to pay back those people, because we are going to ensure that the NDP on Friday, that they never place their hands on the St. Vincent and the Grenadines passport. The passport with the Amazona Gildingi inside of it. They must never touch it to sell it, to pay off any other political debts.
I don't just win. I don't just family. I am chosen. Me no love lives like me. Me only trust the bank and God. Only trust the bank and God.
I thought that the man who run in against Jimmy, I thought he had a heart. Comrades, he's not ready yet. Imagine he's sitting down on a team that want to sell out this country, and he is agreeing with that. Well, hear what? The people of Richland Park, the people of Marriaqua, when you go to the polls, vote overwhelmingly for the Unity Labour Party to send the message to that bad-minded boy who he running for NDP.
Some boy change like the weather. People want them sell me out. When where them need for? I could a chicken or pizza. Tell me, why you do with that pizza? You never look like Lisa. Them sell you out, them Lisa. What me tell you with that pizza? Use me, father, to get visa.
You know, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, before we had the bridge at Marriaqua. And I said at a previous meeting, and I want to repeat it here, in case you didn't hear it. You had students from Owea, from Fancy, from Orange Hill, all the way down to the bridge, where the bridge is now, who used to attend the North Union Secondary School. Could you imagine as a child? You go into bed the night. You have CXC maths the next morning. Rain start to come. You can't focus by your exam, you know. You focus in on whether tomorrow morning when you reach Arabuka River, if you could cross. But thank God for labor. The people above the river don't have to worry anymore about crossing the bridge, because the ULP has made a bridge of progress throughout this country.
Labor people, tell them this. Labor, you know, joke, labor, you know.
Before the meeting started, a young sister came up on the stage. And I want to say this. Every single meeting that I attend, their children, this young sister here with the red bandana and the stars, Sister Pierre, she is a grade 5 student. She is a grade 5 student at the Marriaqua Primary School. Next year, she's going to grade 6. And she's going to do the CPEA exam. You never know. This young lady here may be the first female prime minister in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But she's guaranteed a seat in a secondary school because you voted for Labour here in Richland Park. You voted for Labour in Marriaqua. You voted for Labour throughout this country. I want, when you go to the polls, to remember young Sister Pierre.
I want to rule my destiny. Yeah, I want to rule my destiny. Whoa, destiny. Mama, look from when you call me. Destiny. Mama, look from when you call it. I want to rule my destiny. Oh, help by please.
Comrades, I am grateful for the opportunity to serve you as the Minister of Agriculture. And I see here past Chief Agriculture Officer, Ruben Robertson. And I see here hundreds of eyes looking at this stage, willing to continue to work for the advancement of this country. A very important date is drawing close. And I want for you over the next 2 days, make sure if anybody in the community ain't registered yet, take them to be registered. And after the registration period, I want for you to go in the highways and to go in the byways. And I want you to knock on all the doors and to tell the people of Marriaqua. And if you're following this live, every constituency across this country to come out on election day, go to the polls and vote overwhelmingly for the Unity Labour Party. Comrades, I love you. And I want you to continue to do what is right. And place your X where it is supposed to be, in Richland Park and Marriaqua, it's going to be for your candidate, Jimmy Prince. And let us welcome the world boss.
We won election 2005. Last one right the backside. 2010, we beat them again. 2015, 20, 25 next again. We don't leave where we come right. Show me the red. We don't leave where we. Hit them for 6.
Oh, yeah.
Hit them for 6. This time is plenty licks. Hit them for 6.
Oh, yeah.
Hit them for 6. This time is plenty licks. Hit them for 6. Hit them for 6. This time is plenty licks. Leave out your door, knocking boom, boom, boom. Leave out your door, knocking boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Come right at your door, knocking boom, boom, boom. Come right at your door, knocking boom.
Welcome the world boss.
And every time I knock on me neighbor door.
What you say?
And every time I knock on me neighbor door.
What do you say?
The NDP over yonder. Every day they sit down and wonder. Them a plan to get rid of labor, but this time is brimstone and fire. Labor coming stronger and better. So I'm going to call out me neighbor. Neighbor. And every time I knock on me neighbor door. And every time I knock on me neighbor door, I hear it. Come right at your door, knocking boom, boom, boom. You come right at your door, knocking boom, boom, boom. Come right at your door, knocking boom.
The world boss is here.
Labor at your door, knocking boom, boom, boom. And my people, and every time I knock on me neighbor door, I hear it. And every time I knock on me neighbor door, I hear it. Hit them for 6. Hit them for 6. This time is plenty licks. Hit them for 6. Hit them for 6. This time is plenty licks. We build a boat, them a come blow. We build a boat, them a come blow. We run with them, the people. Leave at your door, knocking boom, boom, boom. Leave at your door, knocking.
For your mercy never fails me.
Hey, Donovan. Not yet for that, man. I'll tell you, mixed music, man. You know what we're going to do now? You know what we're going to do now? We're going to do what the Prime Minister loves his best. I want to call the #1 Sankey man in the whole of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to the stage. Man from right here in Richland Park. And we're going to greet the Prime Minister, Richland Park, Marriaqua style. Welcome, Bishop. Welcome, Bishop.
Right? Are you ready? Here we go. Right? I don't want to stumble and I don't want to fall. Here am I God to thee. All I want to be ready when the roll is called. Here am somebody lift their voice and say, somebody And if you don't find me,
Somebody say label.
Hit them for six, hit them for six. This time is plenty licks. Hit them for six, hit them for six. This time is plenty licks. Hit them for six, hit them for six. This time is plenty licks. Leave at your door, knocking boom, boom, boom. Leave at your door, knocking boom, boom, boom. Come right at your door, knocking.
I don't want to wait any longer.
Come right at your door,
it's time for us to hear from the political leader.
And every time I knock on the neighbor door,
to bring the comrade.
And every time I knock on the neighbor door,
here comes the comrade. World boss in Richland Park.
For your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. Yes, every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. You know I love your voice. Close like no other. You know I've known you as a father. You know I've known you as a friend. And I have lived in the goodness of God. Oh, yeah. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so
comrades and friends of labor, my comrades of Marriaqua, and more specifically here in Richland Park, I'm very happy to be here with you and to be here with Jimmy, because on November the 27th, we will re-elect Jimmy Prince as the parliamentary representative from Marriaqua.
Hit them for six, hit them for six. This time is plenty licks. Hit them for six, hit them for six. This time is plenty licks. Hit them for six, hit them for six.
This is my fourth meeting for tonight. I was in Otley Hall. I then went to Clay Valley, and then I went to Brighton. And each of those meetings were very large meetings. And I come here
to Richland Park, and I find a fantastic gathering here to support Jimmy and the Labour Party. Our two themes in this campaign are that Labour is working for all are we. And as Labour is working for all are we, and we look forward, not backward, we have to own the future.
Own the future, we only get stronger.
And I tell you this, of all time, only the future is ours to desecrate. So that when you go to the polls on Thursday the 27th, one thing you must not do, you must not vote in a manner to desecrate our future. The NDP began their campaign with gimmicks. Gimmicks where the maths don't add up. Their sums don't add up. And very quickly, people saw that. Because they have no vision, because they have no set of policies or programs, and their gimmicks fell apart, they have one thing remaining. The one thing they have remaining is to slander, to commence, to run down, not only run down us, but run down our families for no reason at all. They do it with lies, dishonesty, and the NDP campaign has completely collapsed.
We not leave where we come right. Show me the red. We not leave where we come right. Swing it up on your head. We not leave where we come right. Show me the red. We not leave where we come right.
It has collapsed to such an extent that among their major policies, they're running away from them. They're trying to run away from their policy to sell passports and sell citizenship. Because 3/4 of the people in the country say we do not want to sell our passports, we do not want to sell our citizenship to disreputable foreigners. Because to do so will humbug us with our travel to America and England and Canada and Europe. And to sell our passport and citizenship will bring about corruption and the destruction of our democracy. So they are running away from that because the people tell them we don't want to hear that. The people also tell them, don't come to us and tell us you're going to move from Taiwan, which has been our loyal friend, and go to mainland China. People say we don't want that. Because the people are saying, to begin with, if you do that, the 100 and something students and scholarship, including people from MESPO, will have to come home from Taiwan.
We not leave where we come right. Show me the red. We not leave where we come right. Swing it up on your head. We not leave where we come right.
And then, because Taiwan is funding the $300 million hospital at Annesville, that will also come to an end. That will come to a halt. And the third thing is that the money which we owe Taiwan, the people are saying, how are we going to pay back that money? The people are saying that because all the money will become due immediately. What they're asking you to do is to risk your future. What they're asking you is to destroy all the progress that we have made in the last 25 years. And we have made a lot of progress. You watch. You don't have to go and read any book, you know. Let me take some things. Every single child, 12 years and over, going to secondary school. We have 6 times as many students going to community college than before. We used to have 4 scholarships, we now have over 3,000. People are going to university like never before. We are 4 times wealthier than in 2001. We have electricity and water in practically every single home in the country. We have Wi-Fi and internet. All of those things. You know, unemployment was 21%, is under 9% now. Labor is working for everybody.
I wanna love you and treat you right. I wanna love you every day and every.
And for the youths, I say to them, you are interested in training and education. You are interested in jobs and setting up your own business. You are interested in getting a piece of land and build your house. Ask yourself the question, which of the 2 political parties has been addressing those things? And you'll get the answer is the Labour Party. We have been sending people to school, sending them to universities, providing them with land and house, giving them jobs, preparing them for the future. And then the women, under the NDP, by the time we arrived in office in 2001, the way the NDP was functioning, they appeared to believe that the way you have to treat women, and some of them used to say it, you keep them barefoot, you keep them ignorant, you keep them pregnant, and you keep them in the kitchen. Under the ULP, the woman them buying stylish shoes from Amazon. The latest style, Louboutin. They ain't ignorant anymore because all of them go in secondary school and community college and university.
Put a smile upon her face and take you to the higher place. So don't you want
And they choosing when to get pregnant and when not to get pregnant. And they're telling the man them, we are watching you and we only want you to step up to the mark properly if you want to be my partner. And the women, though they could still cook and take care of the family and the man them, they go out with one another. The girls have a night out and they go to the finest restaurants in St. Vincent because they walk in. And if you watch, if you want the evidence, watch the thing before your eyes. Every single day, out of the Marriaqua Valley. Jimmy, more than 20 minibus come out of here. More than 25 come over here. And they come out with people. Real flesh and blood people. Men and women, young and old. They go into work at hotels. They're going to work in the bank and insurance companies. They go into work in the civil service, in the teaching profession. They're going to work as lawyers and doctors. Because half of the doctors at the hospital now are women. More than half of the lawyers are women. Those things they happen by accident. And they are young people too. NDP will want to take us back to a past which we didn't enjoy. A backwardness. And that's why the song is so sweet. We've been through the fire. We've been through the rain. And we do not have any desire to go back under NDP rule again.
Ride on, neighbor, ride on. 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 Ride on, neighbor, ride on.
This valley was noted for producing lots of bananas. In 1992, this country sold $120 million worth of bananas. In today's value, that would be about 300 million. But because of a change in the banana market in Britain, bananas came to an end. But $300 million is taken out of the economy in today's terms. But we ain't yamming one another. We not fight on one another. We have put things in place that we have made the economy better and stronger. 4 times stronger than in 2001.
If you're not showing no progress, man, we go through life without no stress.
And in 2001, in terms of the Human Development Index established by the United Nations, we were only ahead of Guyana and Haiti. Today, we have moved from that level that we're still higher than Haiti and Guyana, though Guyana is moving up because of oil. We're ranking better than Jamaica and Suriname and Belize. We're ranking better than St. Lucia, Dominica, and Grenada. We are at the top tier in the high level of human development. And we have built this country in a manner, in unity and in democracy with freedom. We have built out sports and culture, technology, good governance. Saboto is working manfully in modernizing the agricultural sector and the fisheries sector. Tourism is flourishing. Sandals is there. Beaches is coming. Other hotels. The economy has grown over the last 5 years faster than any other economy in the Caribbean except Guyana, and because they have oil.
I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved.
No. We have reached a stage that we tell you that in 15 years' time, we will have a first world country. Whatever you have in New York, London, Paris, or Toronto, we will have it here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the quality of life. And we are building it and we are advancing it. And you have to be part of it. And the young people with artificial intelligence would enlarge the small size of our country. Vital for life living and production. And then, let me talk about leadership. We have gone through 12 weather-related natural disasters. We have gone through COVID. We have gone through 21 volcanic eruptions. We have gone through the worst knock-on effect from global economic depression between 2008 and 2011. Despite all those things, we have held things together and advanced magnificently. You had 28,000 houses in 2001. You have 48,000 now. Bigger, better, and stronger than those which existed before. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is on the move. And we are attracting a lot of investments. And we have the leadership and the candidates to take us to a first world status. Do not risk the great work which we are doing by taking a chance with the NDP.
Coming up, man.
I say this to you. Anytime there's a disaster, anytime we have any problems, coming to us from overseas, I come on the television and I begin it simply and say to you, fellow Vincentians, I have to talk to you tonight about some challenges facing us. And I define the challenges. I explain them. And then I tell you what we are going to do to meet those challenges. And that I want your support. And we are in this together so that we can meet those challenges. And on every occasion, we have come out of every one of those challenges and disasters better than we went in before.
I know NDP, they will start a war from the time they hear my song. Oh my lordy lord, I know the ULP coming in, strong.
At the same time, when we are building out the country, putting us on a footing to advance rapidly with projects like the Marriaqua Bridge, the Modern Medical Diagnostic Center, the Argyle International Airport, the port in Kingston, Sir Vincent Beach Stadium, the world-class cricket facility with the lights, and more. And every single one of those, NDP are so bad-minded, they oppose every single one of them. They oppose the education revolution. They oppose the housing projects. Just recently in Parliament, when we went back for $41 million to continue the program, they voted against it. The housing program. What can you do with bad-minded people like that? And Friday is weak. Friday is lazy. Friday is indecisive. Friday is a fake. You cannot take a chance. You cannot gamble with your future.
I'm in Labour X. I make them vex. I'm in Labour X. I make them vex. I make them vex. I'm in Labour X.
So I give you a summary close to midnight as to what we have been doing. What future we are going to. We have discussed leadership. I want to talk about candidates. I do not think that you have a politician in this country more trustworthy than Jimmy Prince. Jimmy Prince, you can trust him with authority. You can trust him with power because he's balanced and mature. And above all, he loves people dearly. for the bulk of the 21st century. The fellow is running on him, running against him, try to run away from work. Every time you give him something to do, he want to go study. And we give him scholarships all the time, you know. We get scholarships for him. But we go away and study. He study for himself. He ain't losing what he study to help to develop the country. And he want to spend more time away than spending here. You know the fella. You know the fella and you know you can't trust him. You know that. For all the years, what has he been connected to in Marriaqua? Absolutely nothing. And all of a sudden, they bring him. To tell you the truth, it is better that he go back to Bernard Wiley. It's better that he go back to Bernard. Because at least Bernard know people. And the level of arrogance this man displays. I always say that any man who thinks that his brightness is what counts is profoundly mistaken. There are two types of brightness, you know. Brightness which blinds and brightness which illuminates. If you drive in your SUV on high beam, and I drive in mine on high beam, and we come into one another, each of us so bright, we blind each other, we can't see, and we're going to have accident. The best form of brightness is a brightness which lodges itself in among the people and work with the people and pull out the best out of people for their own individual, family, community, and national development. Jimmy Prince does that. He has that capacity. This other fella is just so full of it. And he's full of something which ends with IT.
Man to man is so unjust. Children, you don't know who to trust. Your worst.
I want to say to you that between now and the election, I want those who last election during COVID didn't feel motivated to come out and vote. Come home. Come home to Labour. And those who from the NDP, don't chase them. Bring them to Labour. Because more and more NDP people are saying that Labour has been working for us.
Coming in stronger than ever. We're coming in stronger than ever.
The other day, a 90-year-old woman, I went to her funeral. And her son-in-law, this woman who died, was an NDP woman. And his son-in-law said to me that one of the last things she said before she died, she said, Ralph deserves to be re-elected because he has been doing good. His government has done good for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. On her deathbed, an NDP woman tell her son-in-law that. All across, so don't chase them. Bring them home, bring them home. And I know there are grumbles here and there, complaints. There will always be complaints until we get to heaven. But what we do inside of the Labour family, we sort it out in our Labour family. And if you think that government has its problems, try opposition. Why you think the NDP so desperate after 25 years? This is their last train to San Fernando. You think opposition easy? I've been there, you know. I've been in the fire. I've been in the rain. You too. We have been there under the NDP and we have no desire to go back there again. So that we ain't going back there. On Thursday the 13th, on Thursday the 13th is the last day for the special registration. So young people, you have tomorrow and Thursday, 2 days to take in your birth certificate and go and register. Because if you don't register, you could jump up as much as you want by the rally. At the end of the day, you ain't helping the cause. Tonight has been a wonderful night. We have been all over West Kingston, South Leeward, East St. George, and now Marriaqua. And I want to tell you this. Never mind NDP propaganda. The NDP, it is impossible for them to win the election. You know why? There are 8 seats from West St. George to North Windward. And the bastion in Central Kingston. Central Leeward, sorry. We have never lost any of those elections since 2001. And there's no way the NDP can beat us in any of those. Absolutely no way. And we're winning back North Leeward. We're taking South Leeward. Look out for Luke Brown, and once 1 seat in Kingston Falls, look out for others. And the Southern Grenadines is there for us for the taking this time.
Everybody start jumping till
I want to thank you for all your support in Marriaqua. And the wise people of Marriaqua know that you can rely on labor to continue our development. I know you're ready to vote, but don't let me take one day at a time, sweet Jesus. Today is the 11th, 12 more days. No, sorry, 16, how many more days? 15 more days. 15 more days. 2 weeks. Every day we get up, after we say we prayers, we go into work, we take care of our family, but one of the important things must be in your head, to re-elect the Labour Party government. That is vital. As we leave here tonight, we thank Almighty God for all His blessings. And we count them one by one. Tomorrow, we have our cabinet. And tomorrow evening, we are on the road again with meetings. And Thursday night, I'm going in Port Elizabeth. And listen to my speech in Port Elizabeth. Stay united. Stay firm. Stay strong. Labour, come home. Labour, come home. Labour, come home. God bless you. Good night.
Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Show me your voting finger. Raise up your voting finger. Show me your voting finger. Raise up the voting. Alright, me and my neighbor. Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Voting for Labour. Me and my neighbor. Me and my neighbor, voting for Labour. Somebody say
So Hans.
Levo.